And with the American Legion, we have a couple guests on today, and they're going to be talking about a few different things. I'd like to welcome Alan Clark and Dennis Powell. Gentlemen, welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Great to have you here today.
Great to be here.
And, first, let's just talk about, I think a lot of people know what the American Legion is, but there might be a few people who don't. Is this, I think one of the biggest questions people ask, is this part of the military? Is this run by our government, or is it separate?
It's separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of post-military
veterans organization.
Yeah.
That's the main primary objective, is to help veterans. Also, we help out actual active duty military and their family with various things. Being right here, we have a connection with the Marines in Camp Pendleton, and that sometimes we go down and we'll help out, volunteer for various things, even in the schools and that. Sometimes we need to provide things, physical things or whatever, for the families and that, because they're just not getting enough. They don't make enough money to cover all of that. And then if somebody's deployed and the family's there, and trying to make connections and all that type of thing.
So it's mainly sort of a benevolent organization,
yes.
right? And although you might work with different parts of the military, Veterans Affairs, or help vets find their way into getting benefits and things like that, you're really more self-sustained, right?
Yes.
The American Legion is the largest veterans organization in the country. It's its eligibility requirement is that you serve during wartime.
Okay.
For example, I served during Vietnam, but they never deployed me there, so I could not join the Veterans of Foreign Wars. But I am eligible for the American Legion because I served within the dates of that they've established for World War II.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, absolutely. They're trying to open it up as we speak to include veterans who have fought in conflicts that were not declared wars, because they've made the same sacrifices and served their country. And so we're really an organization that promotes patriotism and Americanism and service.
Right. So as far as your post here, Post 257, it's been around for quite a while, right?
It's been around for 52 years.
So really, since this community began.
Yeah, that's right. What's interesting is 1967's year I got out of the Air Force. We have this, the City of Laguna Woods Certificate of Commendation, American Legion Post 257 for the 50th anniversary, whereas American Legion Post 257 was formed in Laguna Woods January 1967 by a small group of veterans with a mission statement of veterans helping veterans.
Yeah.
So,
and it's interesting, you handed me this sheet here, that really the history of the American Legion, although it was different back then, in a sense, goes back to Revolutionary times, 1778. It was called the American Legion of Honor, and I've read about that, and the modern day one really started in the First World War.
In 1919.
As it is today, so to speak. Yeah.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
That's kind of interesting about that. What happened was I think it was like 700,000 troops over there in Europe. And so when the conflict was over, we had people in hospitalized situation, but you also had a problem with getting all those folks back who wanted to come back. So the United States Army formed a group of officers to be in charge, like the hospital and the dispersion, feeding, so on and so forth. And so those officers formed a group, basically the American Legion, strictly officers, eventually letting in enlisted personnel. So it expanded to that. So actually it started in France. American Legion Post number 1 is in Paris, France.
Wow.
That's where it started, 1919. And so then as people came back, they started forming the groups here, and people were back and they were on the settle, and then all of a sudden, like, okay, let's get this going. And in a very short time, it was hundreds of thousands of people getting involved in it. And,
quite interesting.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that you want to talk about today is through the Veterans Administration, the GI Bill.
Yes.
And of course, one of the members, William Price, was one of the past commanders here at 257, and he used the GI Bill after World War II to become a physicist, right?
That's correct.
And went on to help with the Voyager mission, and we've had him on in the past.
Okay, if I can read this quickly.
Sure.
William Price used his GI Bill education after World War II to become a leading physicist who helped the Voyager mission pass through the Jupiter's fierce energy belt. So there's a whole article. It's just one of many people that have been helped out so much by the GI Bill. I think we both used it, you know, and that. So. Yeah.
Now, we got some photos up here, and you talked about, you know, before we came on here, all the different things you do. You often go to school graduations as the color guard, and then you honor some students here. We see in a photo in the background, and of course, you know, on more solemn occasions, you show up with the color guard and officers for maybe a military vet that has passed away.
Right. That gentleman is going to be the new commander.
That's Joe Rainey.
Yes.
Joe Rainey.
Yeah,
Okay.
Joe Rainey, yes.
You're kind of acquainted. He's only been here 100 years or something.
Yeah.
And the young lady he's with was the valedictorian of the graduating class. He's presenting her with a certificate of, I think, for achievement for her grades as
Oh,
well.
how nice.
Oh,
yeah.
brilliant. It's interesting to see these young people and how much they're so much into
Yeah,
the
and we see this
education
photo
of that.
here. That's Bill Price there, I think?
Yes, it is. And
Yeah.
that's Lou Tirado. He's 98 years old, the gentleman the closest to us,
Okay.
turned away from us and that. And then some of the other folks in there. This was for the Armistice Day thing, whatever we had.
Program.
Memorial Day.
You know, one of the
Memorial
nice
Day.
things, you folks do a lot of great things, but I
Yeah.
think one of the nicest things, or the greatest thing about all this is, you know, they're former vets that want to be part of something, and they're not sure to want to be part of, you know, this club, the Lions Club, this club, which they're all great organizations too, but I think they feel a camaraderie by being a part of the American Legion, and whether it's your post or, you know, finding a post in their area, right?
Yeah. One of the photos that was up there a minute ago was a color guard, which we do various things like the schools and services. That service was at Lutheran Church of the Cross and that. And now we have up the veteran K9, and that was interesting. He trains the dogs for the vets.
Oh, how nice.
Now, he's the kind of basic instructor. As I recall, he was a Navy SEAL. The gentleman standing in the background is somebody that PTSD suffered in that, and it's his dog that was trained for
nice.
him. And it's just marvelous to see these things happen and how much that context makes help with the vets.
Well, you do
and that.
an awful lot. I do want to mention, we're putting up on the screen now that you have your monthly dinners, and the next one coming up on Thursday, June 27th at Dining Room 1, and the cost is $15 per person, and the program is Hawaiians at Heart.
Yeah, it's Clubhouse 1 main dining room. Yeah,
that's good.
So
I like
we're
the theme
gonna.
of that.
that's gonna be my fareway party. That'll be in my term, and then in September, Joe Rainey will take over.
Okay.
But you're not leaving us.
You're not leaving them. No. And if somebody wants to join up, what's the best way that they can do it?
The best way right now is to go on internet to al257.org.
Okay.
American Legion 257 org.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, if somebody belongs, they may belong to a different post, and they moved in here.
You transfer.
You just is that what you do? You kind of transfer and
Okay. Because I moved down from Big Bear, so I transferred from the Big Bear from 584 up there. Now.
Before I moved to Laguna Beach, I belonged to American Legion California. I did not belong to a local post because I didn't have one close to my home.
There's all different options.
Right. And when I moved down here, I have more time than I used to have, and the post is local, and I'm very eager to get more actively involved with the the environment, the social environment in this country today. We're very eager to get our message of our patriotism and Americanism out to the public.
Yeah.
Because usually all you hear about is the other side.
Right, right. Well, very good. I want to thank both of you for coming on today. It's an honor. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service,
Been
of
a
course.
pleasure.
Yes, and again, if you want to be part of the dinner, now, do you have to be a member to go to this dinner?
No, you don't.
Okay,
You're
and
more
that's
than
what's nice.
welcome.
Maybe you're
Yeah.
interested. You want to become a member. This is next week, not this Thursday, the following Thursday, June 27th at 5 p.m., the main dining room in Clubhouse 1. It's $15 per person, and you can join them there.
Okay.
Thank you very
Very
much.
good. Thank you.
Matt.